country people for Southern Cameroons, my great warriors for the freedom for Ambazonia, I throw all man salute. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow great warriors of our liberation movement, our self-liberation greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro, this day. Today is Wednesday, and the date of today is September 13, 2023. My people, I am coming here today for us to have a very, very serious conversation regarding a subject matter that keeps going and, we get a comeback. And because when some people fall off from the liberation movement, they seek refuge behind this particular concept. And I'll be talking here basically about this whole talk about federalism for the Southern Cameroons. Because of the central importance of this subject matter, I'm absolutely going to do this broadcast. I'll make them pretty short and it will be in a series. And I would really, really talk in pidgin because I don't want anyone anywhere to have the excuse that they missed this education for a series. Why do I call it an education series? Because, folks, I have listened to people talk. I have heard, recent communications and something that's going on and on and on. Recall, sometime in 2018, and this was before, this whole nonsense of the Federalist voice started coming out. In 2018, that was early in 2018 or in mid 2018, I released a video. In that video, I read a report, and this report was released or was written, I beg your pardon, was written and addressed to the President of the Republic by no other person than Laurent Esso, Minister of Justice, Keeper of the Seals for La République du Cameroun. And this was after he went round with another delegation on a tour in the diaspora to talk to diasporans against this liberation movement. We all recall the Waterloo he and his delegation faced in Belgium, where our own Mark Barra and others literally, threw them off guard. But after Laurent Esso returned from that trip, he did not bother about the negativity or the violence that took place in Belgium. In all of what happened, for him and for La République du Cameroun, he saw a silver lining in that dark cloud. What was it? Throughout this tour, they noticed that there were still some people who were misguided to be talking about federalism. And so in his report to the President of the Republic of La République du Cameroun, my people, he made these points clear. Country people, I don't talk, say I go talk for pidgin, I don't know how. Bounce back for, big grammar. Make I come back for pidgin and I go back for which way I talk. Listen, my people, we now know, say for 2017 and for January, when La République du Cameroun decide for stop any form of discussion with the consortium, because they be the same minister that for Bamenda 5566 sent someone, they made a whole meeting there with lawyers and for Yaounde and all those things. La République du Cameroun, when they be decide for stop all this talk, now because they be see and say, consortium not be the talk only about the problem for teachers and for lawyers, but say consortium be don't begin for tell them, say the problem we would put them for table now a community problem, not be problem where concern only lawyers, only teachers. They don't bring in, we don't bring in trade unionists, all the other society organizations for the entire Southern Cameroon community, because this issue, they affect the entire community, all sectors of life. And so we realize it the best way for address this problem now for go back for the federal system for 1961, so that una for La République una go stay on our side. Una take una own system of education as una like, una take una even copy France their own the user. Una get on a legal system when they respect human rights. Una fit do anything una want for that side. Make we too now will stay with for Southern Cameroons. make we begin for do the thing them the way we be don do am with before and we will be like am, so that we go set example for pikin for language wey dem dey understand. We go run with community for where we dey defend and protect human rights. We go run with community for where we dey promote freedom of speech and of expression. We go run with community for where we go practice real democracy, functional democracy. When La Republique be realize say na the final stance that na im wey dem be stop all negotiations with consortium, they decide for do wetin, for ban the consortium, ban SCNC. They decide again for do wetin, for cut internet, and they decide for launch a manhunt for all we will be members of consortium. That same night of the 17th of January 2017, they catch Bala, they catch Fontaine, Baltasar and others them, and all we whoop all man take off the run. People the way they be public, way they be know them. Some of we will be still being a back, will be entered, they do things, but we will names them not be really there out there. Now we be facing loiter around more for do other things them before me one back before we two they take off. So my country people, La Republique at that time they become hostile because they be here federalism. At that time, no man no be talk independence. If you remember, Issa Chiruma become talk say the main reason why they catch Bala and Fontaine now because they propagate especially federalist and secessionist ideologies. So it means say time be there for La Republique du Cameroon for this struggle where they be criminalize any talk about federalism. This one a fact. So my people, when I don't hear some kind of talk that they go on, it made me say, make I come back for this subject matter. Because some time ago, for 2018, because right up to 2018, they will still catch people they lock up and down, people they like Penter and so on, other. They will catch all them, catch all them say they propagate federalist ideologies. They believe even struggle for shutdowns on newspapers say they propagate federalist ideology. So it will be criminalized. Any talk about federalism will be criminal. They don't really talk only about secessionism. So it can for happen. As I talk, say for February 9, 2017, that time I be done in Nigeria because my cover be don't blow. And as one person inside the struggle, they blow my cover. Where he take my picture, put chain for my hand, put around Baltasar in neck. So the whole row for Baltasar in neck, the drag him. Because when Baltasar be talk for the 9th of February, say now so na final, we don't forget about federalism, na total freedom. By that time, the people define me. But then they be too certain, so that thing that way they happen. Say I be really did it true, then they be no. So I be there for control tower. Sometimes they don't find me around, so I go enter Nigeria. Be high say we will continue the work only background. Make only they suspect me, but make they don't know say I did it. Because they give me room for continue to forget very vital information we will be need them for thwart everything we they be doing. So when they become blow my cover, now wider way, they have a big force for come, not publicly. But before that time, they be the chase all winners say would they propagate federalist ideology. Make man not forget this one. Because they say and say would go for before, for back. And I see and say some confusion still there. Now why they don't start this education series. So that make no man no talk say he no be here, say he no be understand them, say he no be know, say that in that way it happen. So any place where you dey, fasten your seatbelt, find glass water, put that for your phone, you drink them. If na you take them all, that's fit choke. Or now wait you take them all, settle down, you begin take them. Make a cross over this situation for the post. Then I come now for this substantive matter. No shako. Because it be very important. They say it fine for Sabi. Because if you Sabi, no man will deceive you. But if you know Sabi, some man go can eat they talk the sweet so tell you take a good talk what they'll bring up for you. But where they carry you go now straight inside fire or inside water. So my country people, This story today be very important, and I will continue. So, the Post, the other day, it be published this article. It says 66% of Cameroonians want a military coup. And the Post talk say, not be them, the Post, they talk. They quote Afrobarometer, their survey. Now, result for survey, they publish and they quote and for quote. So, nothing that way this Afrobarometer, it talk. Rule for newspaper, now for report way people they don't talk. Now, rule that for journalists. For report way people don't talk. A free press, now a rule that way they do. But even when the Post be put up this article, they say they start see how he did they. Then step and down because they realize say they suddenly remember say that they up against a very horrible regime and say they so wahala fit come very fast. They even step and down. But even as the Post is step and down, it not be enough. Why it go rattle, why it go create confusion, too much fear, panic, and pain for mind for the Republic. The Republic talk quick say the Post the talk that say make military make the commit coup d'etat, immediately. And so now what don't happen? If we dey now for Anglo-Saxon world, if we dey now for we Southern Cameroons for before, where inside that country freedom of press and of expression be reign. This kind of people that also okay, they don't express now this opinion. So now, so people they think, why people they think like that? Because when media is publishing, now so that make decision maker make the sure that say, hey, nothing people they think, why people they think like that? You go now for resolve the problem. But for like people in Cameroon, they never resolve problem, they address at the same time. So because the Post don't publish this one, I be here big man for National Communication Council, where they call him Joe Chebonken Kalabopse. I be here, he condemn him. He say na irresponsible act with them take and so for go ahead for publish this kind of article. He condemned the Post in very strong terms. Of course, National Communication Council, na structure way, na some big council they create. Say na ye go regulate palava the way they concern the press. What it mean say wetin? What it mean say if newspaper don't do something wrong, na role for National Communication Council for handler. Of course, don't hear National Communication Council, don't count sometime. They even suspend journalists they say for vision card. The journalists they say to hell. We don't hear National Communication don't count sometime. They don't suspend some newspaper them for someone them for 3 months, someone them for 1 month, someone them suspend some journalists and do all that kind of thing them. So that they role for that structure. But hell no. Because it concerns the Southern Cameroons. Because this thing happened now for English language newspaper, where he headquartered there for Southern Cameroons for Biya, the Post newspaper. And because the colonial administration for the demand now by an Ekambulu Betiman, Mr. Okalia Bilai Bernard. Okalia Bilai Bernard she run down. Would the country people they talk say, if they leave this matter, say make the National Communication Council handle them, they don't trust Joe Chebonken Kalabopse. Because it come out Southern Cameroons. Say Joe Chebonken Kalabopse, if he go shit for that organization, talk say he don't suspend the Post only for 3 months. Or talk say he don't just want the Post now for 1 hour. Whereas not be think that way they want them. So now why that way? Mr. Okalia Bilai Bernard take the powers into his hands. He take the law into his hands. He talks say Paul Biya that your nonsense we create as a National Communication Council and not recognize him. He said that man they call him Joe Chebonken Kalabopse go to hell. Me, Okalia Bilai Bernard, I don't become Minister of Communication. I don't become Communication Council. I don't become everything. Now the kind thing this way we talk about. Now the kind thing we talk say this bad luck country they call the Republic of Cameroon. We'll find ourselves mixed with them. Now a big curse. A curse we'll need for taken off. As you see. Now what they'll get for which their people they all from our territory. So he take the laws into his hands, then he can talk something. He say he don't ban the Post newspaper, the production and distribution of the Post newspaper for his own place where the rule they call on Southwest. Until further notice, forever, he don't ban them forever. Now listen, for a normal setup, where people that they reason with their brains, they need a reason with their sentiments, they need a reason now with the thought of wickedness, where they think of the well-being of the people. You go ask yourself, say, this the post newspaper. Now, how many people did they employ directly? How many people did they employ indirectly? How many families that depend on all these people then? So if I ban this newspaper because of this thing will happen, other than taking another measure, we go still leave them, make them stay in business, but make them not do this thing, move call and say, move agree, say it's a bad thing again. No, they need to think about that one. The interest of people, they no matter. Because as you see, newspaper vendors, the way they survive now from the post. Oh yeah, from today, no more job, no more money. The people the way they did work for the post, so they did plenty, both for Biya. The one that they did for the post, their office for Yaounde. What they did for the post, their office for Mandela. What they did for the post, their office for Victoria. What they did for the post, their office for other parts of the country. Oh yeah, work don't finish so. The one that they correspond from villages, all that kind of thing. For earn small money, take and help their people them. Oh yeah, it don't finish. Now the families, the way they depend on these people them. If you check them, you'll go now in the thousands if you know family setup. Thousands of people that right now will by that single stroke of the pen, with this scrap of paper, Okala Bilal Bernard don't earn their source of livelihood. My country people them for Ambazonian. Now they can't think this way we dey talk about. And like I talk, the reason we do am now because for National Communications Council, the chairman for the now somebody from Southern Cameroons, they call Joe Chebonken Kalabopse. So you see, we not trust this man. So they no ever trust none of we. No matter how much you be ready for kill yourselves for support and defend them against your own people, they no go ever trust you. Now the same message. Well, one said that for some baby journalists for CRTV National Secretary, they call them Alf and Jane Bonde. Because I hear the kind of irresponsible article we write them, they coach people the way they teach you, the training on the job for being a journalist. Because he no fit stand, clean a pair of shoes for any of those big people the way they create that the post newspaper put them down and when they craft the editorial policy. But because he did for structure where the wrong things, they say all we need for do now for lick boots, now for sing praises, now for say Paul Biya na God, now for say Paul Biya na marksman, now for say his word not be pope, now for say be next to Jesus Christ. Now why that? When if you see the ethos of what will happen with this particular publication. So my people, we there for America now, so I sit here. You see CNN every day they put up say opinion poll talk say 68% of the people no want to give Mr. Joe Biden make it stand for president because they check say he old. They'll put that up say 58% of the people that talk say they don't like the way the economy they go. 63% of the people that talk say they believe say election it no be happen fine or this and that. They never ban any of these structures. Why? Because they report. Now wait away. The companies where they carry out the opinion polls, they talk am. They report that wait away it happen for represent that the opinions of the people. Waiting the government for Joe Biden they do. They dey now struggle for see how for do things the way go make and make the people them see things them differently. Now so it happen in a democracy. But look, now technically, what your career be like me because you don't tie Joe Chebonken in hands. Tie him now so fine. We don't even know. Nothing that overzealous as they do. When you read the thing, it be governor only for the place for the colonial administrative unit with them they call and say Southwest. So it means that this is a decision, it go end now only for day. It means that the post newspaper, if it produce now, it prints for Yaounde, it prints for Bamenda, it circulates for all the other parts them for the country except for the place where Mr. Okala Bilal Bernard did it. Technically, that's in a way it mean. And all this not just because the man believe. Say he be almighty, all powerful. They don't give you the power of life and death over with people. That's something this we will not supposed for tolerate them. We're not supposed for tolerate them, my people. We need to be very careful when they address some of these things. So make I cut that one and leave them. I come now back to the issue where I will talk about federalism. I'm not going to go too deep to that, go just start that. Because I will continue for the next episode. I've even do and say daily. Because I want to make no man no talk say he no be sensitized about this. So if we go back for that federalist palaver, and as I talk, Mr. Laurent Eso, for 2017, when they be go round for diaspora, they go reach for Belgium, where Mark Beretta and the other people, they be show them pepper for some way. Then they come back for the he write for Paul Biya. And I be get copy for that report. I still get copy, but I be read and set for a video for 2017. I go find link for that video and I go share them back on the comment section for this particular video or the next one. I go share them back throughout. So if you go watch them, you see the day where we talk about them. They go recall say by that time, if you mention federalism, wahala be there you. So you go understand why they leave people they made they talk federalism now. Mr. Laurent Eso, me talk inside that report where I have a Paul Biya say, as he don't go around so he don't see something where it happen. He don't hear something. He don't see and say why the majority of the people, of course it be majority because even the late Christian Cardinal to me survey, the show see, and that's what do only for ground, you know, be involved diaspora. 69% of people say they want absolute independence. So now he way, and down even after Laurent Eso, we don't come up from Belgium, go back. And Laurent Eso say, why the majority of the people that they say they want independence, he don't hear some voice where it still be low. That voice still be low. But the voice they say they make some sense. So that voice, now the federalist voice. So he talk say, as Minister of Justice, he propose. Say may they decriminalize any talk. That may they stop for punish any man who talk about federalism. But not because say they want for go back for federalism. Because they don't always be clear. Look, Cameroon has just first on histoire. Say Cameroon don't make a history and Cameroon don't go back. Say they don't already capture we and we must remain as their slaves. And if you go back for federalism, you go be say that they release we small. So he say when they go stop for catch any man or disturb any man to talk about federalism, not be because they want to go for federalism, but not because they go make and now that voice, that federalist voice will be low, it will become loud. And what he go do, it go help for set confusion. It go help for make and now make we divide among we start fight each other over, oh, me I be federalist, me I be unionist, me I be pro-independence, and so they go get the feeling, say yes, they like say they be ready for go back to federalism, but we they need to think even 1 second. So they go give voice, they go add the volume for that low federalist voice may become loud just for help, for divide we, for create confusion, so that with time it go weaken with struggle. It be there for a report with a sender for Paul Biya desk. We have a copy of that report. I be get that copy even before Paul Biya receive an opener. And so I be take time and read them. Sometimes the day might be my country people then. Would they listen to something, they watch something, they will forget the very next minute. So when some people that among we they step aside and start saying, oh, they feel almost give federalism with Bala, I laugh. I laugh. Because they be capture Bala and Fontaine because they talk federalism. Because consultative at that time be the demand a return to the federalist system. Now whatever they catch them. So, like I talk, time go do, now go listen to some talk. There's some people that talk. Talk say like say they like we plenty. We just accept that federalism. They can start from there. Accept that from who? Who the give? Who be ready for federalism? You be here for their grand national dialogue. I want to talk with evidence. For their grand national monologue. What they be go she done for day. When I recall say Bala be talk for this what they cry. Say me they just add federalism now add them for the agenda. Me they talk and they say never. Now here again, Archbishop Kia can't talk. So when they talk, say, may they mention federalism, may they add and they, of course, the regime be don't cook for Mukete. May we come to say, no, and now I hear about federalism. Now which federalism what they talk about? And then I remember, Mr. Ngole Philip Ngwese, who will be Minister of Forestry and Wildlife. Now he will be chairman of one of those key committees. And tell they talk the matter for federalism, he talk straight. Say the mandate where the government give you for that committee now for talk only about decentralization and nothing else. It will be clear. It no means words. So just hear this they talk about they be one give we. Who want give way for who? My people. We will be a country, a sovereign country, with the prime minister and parliament, with the government and parliament by the time we go join the Republic du Cameroon. Some man now who go give something for who? You never hear some side. Say they just pick freedom, take and give you. If they expect say make them give you, then means you recognize sometimes to be part of them. And the talk this is what make you hear fine. Because someone will say, yes, because if we go into that federalism, we'll go rigid by some chance, we for Southern Cameroon will get presidency, we'll get a Ministry of Defense, we'll get a Ministry of External Relations. As the president of Southern Cameroon, you just declare, say from today, Southern Cameroon don't be free. Really. Now what I talk say, sometime then for this struggle, we will get plenty boys then. But at the time God say small, the boys they don't be separated from the men. So that men will begin to see clear the direction we would go for them. And all this didn't happen so. Because some people they be join this struggle, the check say by the next day, independence will come, may they become presidents, may they become ministers, may they become directors general, or all of those things. Nelson Mandela be talk about freedom. For a book, he talk about the slow walk to freedom. The slow walk to freedom. Me say get endurance. You don't talk now about the top speed to freedom. You don't talk about the march to freedom. With the march. No. You don't talk about the marathon to freedom. No. He talk about the slow. He put slow, the slow walk to freedom. Now small, because it did take time. My country people, you self know. See if you walk out the work and go for some side, you chase it, you go see some fine thing. You don't meet no obstacle for road. No, so you don't miss road. Now, where you meet up plenty obstacle for road, where you know say that place where they go there, na correct place. Any man where they can't tell you shortcut, short no day, forget freedom. Now true perseverance, now true endurance, now true hard work, and now true commitment. No other thing, no day. May no man fool you. Short no day for freedom. Anytime you take short, you can't start them all over. We must follow on. Others they before we they be follow on. My country people, listen. No man no devils on side with federalism ready to forgive anybody. Lies, huge lies. And by the way, why would they can't talk federalism today? Because if you tired, if you tired. Shift stand for corner. Because this particular palabra, oh, dede, not the 100-meter race. No. Not even just marathon. Now, cross-country race, where you go, you get like relay race. You did fight, so they run to reach on side, you don't tire, you give back for the next person. You take a continue. So if you don't tire, shift for corner. No can begin tell we say, oh, people that this we supposed to take this shot, oh, take it shot, it go so, it go come so. No lies. It no go. If you doubt me, maybe we share the thought for this with brother. Then I go conclude. Because as I talk, I will do at least 5 series. Maybe we examine this thing together. And not make any man make mistake. This one may be time for mistake. We don't go through a lot already. And we must go all the way until we get that freedom. Maybe we follow this with brother.
I'm here to tell you that black people in America struggled for 87 years to regain the rights to vote. Black people in South Africa struggled for 82 years to regain the right to govern themselves in their own country. That is the reality of change. Change is not a sprint. It is not even a marathon. It is a cross-country run. Change does not happen in 4 years. It does not happen in 8 years. Change can take 80 years. But what does it take to sustain the passion for change, the energy for change? What does it take to sustain that struggle for 80 years? This is what it takes. These words, I love my country and no go lie, for inside am I go live and die. When it turn me so, I twist am so. He push me, I push am, I no go. It is that decision to commit to staying, to seeing it through thick and thin, through ups and downs, to never give up. That is what it takes to build a country. That is how all the countries you want to jackpot to were built. All the countries you want to jackpot to were built by young people who stayed back, enduring conditions of misery to ensure that their country was lifted up.
So, my country people, maybe you don't hear this talk fine. I could play am again for the second time. Watch.
I'm here to tell you that black people in America struggled for 87 years to regain the right to vote. Black people in South Africa struggled for 82 years to regain the right to govern themselves in their own country. That is the reality of change. Change is not a sprint. It is not even a marathon. It is a cross-country run. Change does not happen in 4 years. It does not happen in 8 years. Change can take 80 years. But what does it take to sustain the passion for change, the energy for change? What does it take to sustain that struggle for 80 years? This is what it takes. These words, I love my country and no go lie, for inside am I go live and die. When it turn me so, I twist am so. He push me, I push am, I no go. It is that decision to commit to staying, to seeing it through thick and thin, through ups and downs, to never give up. That is what it takes to build a country. That is how all the countries you want to jackpot to were built. All the countries you want to jackpot to were built by young people who stayed back, enduring conditions of misery to ensure that their country was lifted up.
So, my country people, we don't listen. We don't watch this brother. We don't watch DK. What did DK talk? It no be different from what you are talking. It no be different from what Nelson Mandela be talking. Today, plenty of people they don't run the South Africa in search of a better life. How that better life manage happen for South Africa? People that don't take 1 year, they don't take 2 years, they don't take 4 years, they don't take 8 years, they don't take 10 years. Even today, as I talk, they still fight and make it reach the level where they want to make it a day. It takes them well over 30, 40 years for end apartheid. Over 60 years with the fighter for end apartheid, at least officially. So that make them feel able for rule for their own country, for South Africa. We the flop day today, they find opportunities. Yeah, they're for America. Then America. The black people, they're for America. Oh my goodness. Even I never finish, but for the for reach for level where black man and white man, they go the same school. They feel work for the same office. They even share the same thing. When they feel enter bus, all match you know for side where he want. No be small way I take. We know see people like Martin Luther King, they begin forgive their life self more reach there. The other day they will celebrate 60 years from the time when Martin Luther King be achieved, at least the little way achieved before he died, 60 years. But now, which year they will start fight? They never look for gunshot. If you look for gunshot, you go get the wrong thing. No get me wrong. I no talk say we go stay for this struggle for 80 years. No, not that at all. I never talk say we go stay for this struggle for 30 years. Like the people there for Eritrea, they be stay. And not those who will stay for 30 years like the people there for East Timor too, they will stay. And not those who will stay for almost 30 years or more like the people there for South Sudan. We case even be very peculiar. Because within 7 years, we don't cover plenty grounds. So some people they come on and talk say, oh, we don't ever suffer. People they don't ever die. This thing they over jack. If you suppose we don't finish, this one be go up, that become up. Listen, folks. That people they don't know what freedom mean. Because if you know what freedom be, you go count the cost. You go be ready for pay the price. No quick fix, no day. Through endurance, through perseverance, through determination, and through persistence. Persistence means say you don't deny, say I no go give up. All the people they be suffer, they be go through serious misery. Then too they be get plenty to say they be worse past lockdowns. They be get them. At the end of the day, they get what they want. They maintain their focus on what they want. So don't sit down to the way I don't read about suffer. If the film they turn and say quick. Listen, I don't talk this in plenty and I'll repeat again today. Say anytime when you settle for less than you deserve, you go end up with less than you settle for. Because look, we'll be settled for a federal system for 1961 of two parties equal in status who end up how? Who end up as slaves. As slaves. They're supposed to tell you, say, go try back with that same person. Say, after you don't fight for this year, go back, go succumb. Say, no, move go back for federalism because I know how to suffer. No. It didn't happen like that. That be so it happen, eh? People who don't tire. They shift for corner. They rest. If they don't rest, get some power, they won't come back, they come back. If they want go JJ one time, then go. This struggle get only one bus stop. Listen to me and listen fine. This struggle get only one bus stop, and that bus stop now independence. Nothing short of this. This particular struggle, one bus stop. I make a tell each and every one of you for here. Why will this struggle say no will go as long as some people they fear, or as long as the other ones then? Because while La République du Cameroon believe, say they go play with time. So that plenty of people, they will be tired, they will be discouraged, they will turn against the struggle, themselves no get time. Oh yes. Paul Biya na their joker on time. He says no get time again. For that reason, my country people, we get closer by the day. Closer by the day. Sometimes they be. People that they give up for some cause just because they not be educated on how close they don't almost be to the end. And when they can't realize that, they start crying. Crying at that time because they so they immediately because they realize the time where they waste and fight, they carry it almost so they then give up. So when they feel curse themselves. But that will never be portion. Freedom is the ultimate end of this movement. With time, people didn't know La République du Cameroon no more. With time, La République du Cameroon, they get impatient and impervious. With time, La République du Cameroon go closer to your own Armageddon. With time, when La République du Cameroon go be forced now for go back for go solve their own problems, that time we go take advantage of time, perseverance, endurance, persistence, determination, and focus. Look, when I talk, we need to gather more. I always talk am. When Tibo Nagy, be under secretary for the State Department for the United States of America in charge of the Bureau for African Affairs. If we talk the position of the government of America at the time under President Trump, say independence will not don't yet seem realistic. But throughout, after I don't come out, he get the personal opinion because he work on the ground, he be see him. Now what he said for all his outings carries today, it remind me, even with all this with division, Now independence will go now for they will go get. And now when you look this thought, we did fall on the Anglo-Saxon world. Now because you say belief, say if now la Republic du Cameroon may be minority, so France not for live and make any person for this world rest. But me I talk and I reiterate, we don't take with destiny into our hands. As the never again generation, we're not gonna give up until we get to that place we want. Now, what I see say, imagine how supportive France would have been of Southern Cameroonian, that's Ambazonian rights, if region spoke French and the Yaounde region was Anglophone instead of vice versa. France would be all in on Ambazonians choosing their fate, as the God was saying, Vive le Québec libre. So all these kind of things that they come now for give we encouragement. Now for make we understand. Say as a matter of fact, although we did on we own, we deserve what we would ask for. Listen, folks. Now so it ever start. You the first day on your own. So take courage for some side way, it don't become too complicated. The people then go understand. Say now so we not stay indifferent again. But for reach for that level, na determination, na focus, na endurance, na perseverance, and for make sure so we no find conshot. Conshot go lead me to exactly the place we will no one go there. Will we suffer? Yes. But all we know, so the time we dark so take plenty for night. Now the hour just before daybreak. Now that place we did it now so. We will remain focused. We will remain concentrated. When you watch this video, share them as much as possible. Because you know, I don't talk plenty times. People then they don't subscribe in their thousands. They know they get notification. Because La République du Cameroon, they do everything with the high-tech company for make sure say make this page be continually sabotaged. Dampen. Now why they go send many more people themselves, may they attack my person. So that make I leave this education we talk about, go down and for start fight each other. Nada. That one no go happen. Share them as much as you fit. Because we need to make people then be aware of this. We no fear afford for being distracted at this time. My country people, I insist. I say we no fear afford for being distracted at this time. No, not be now. Even especially as we prepare now so to go towards that conference for Canada, the Southern Cameroon's People's Conference for Canada. Now what I say, I told you the power of synergy. Now you will go build. For build on that power of synergy. For fast forward with the way we'll fight for. Share this video. Make sure no miss any number in the series. Because trust me, we will listen to more people that are across the world. We will get more experiences and we will get greater inspiration from people that they do them before we may we understand say we on the right trajectory. My people for Ambazonia, my fellow country people, listen. All man must say no for gunshot. That thing when they call up for say federalism, it know they exist. Na mirage, na bad gunshot, we go lead to further destruction, further damnation, for undermine the sacrifice we don't put that in all these years already. So make always stay focused, make always stay determined on the place where we want go there. So I will come back again as I talk. So I will continue from where I end today. So to God be all the glory. Share.